Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs and today I have week 11 of the 12 weeks of Christmas series. So this is my last card set. I told you guys one more is coming and this one's different. So this is the card set. I'll try to show you them all. They're all different colors. And I tried to I wanted them to, so they open from the bottom. So it's kind of like a present. And I really wanted them to kind of look like vintage wrapping paper was on a gift. So that was kind of my thought when I made these. Hopefully they come across that way, but I'll show you the colors. So obviously we have purple because you guys know purple is my favorite color. And then we have like this kind of minty green. And then we have two tealy-esque colors. It wasn't intentional. I just went through my metallic cardstock and picked colors that I liked, and then I realized I kind of had two that were somewhat similar. I think they're different enough that it doesn't really matter. And honestly, they're not going to be given to the same person, so you think it'd be okay. And I chose not to give these a sentiment because I thought that if they didn't need to be used for Christmas, they could be used for like a birthday. So they are beautiful. I love them, and I think it's a really fun way to finish out my card sets. So let's jump into the video.
All right, so to start off, I pulled out 5 different colors from the Tim Holtz Kraft-stock metallic colors set. That's what you see me trimming down here. And I'm going to trim these to be about the same as I always do. I want a thin white border. So I believe I took these down to be about 1/8 of an inch smaller than my A2 base. I like to have a little border around everything. You, of course, don't need to do this. I just like the layer look. This could be the full size of the panel because it would still fit in the embossing folder. So completely up to you. I just prefer a white border, so that's what I go for. And of course, my A2 base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I just pulled out 5 colors. There were other colors, but I didn't really want to bring in yellow or orange. So I kind of ended up picking out 2 bluey tealy colors. So they're a little bit closer to each other than I was hoping, but I think that that's fine just because, like, as I said in the beginning, not the same 2 people. Like, you're not going to send the same 2 cards to the same 2 people. So you would be pretty safe with that because it would probably go to somebody else. And then I used the Botanical embossing folder. This is a Tim Holtz folder. And I think that it gives this cool kind of vintage vibe. So as I was saying, I was thinking about vintage wrapping paper when I made these. And this, I don't know that this is actually hitting the mark because I don't own any vintage wrapping paper. I just kind of felt that it really looked quite pretty and I love how it looks. So I chose to kind of go this direction with it. You could use any embossing folder for this though. If you had a more traditional Christmas one, you could go that direction. Or if you prefer, you could do like stripes or whatever embossing folder you felt like fit well with what you were kind of creating would work with this. I just chose to use this Botanical one because I kind of felt like those florals made it look more of a vintage style, but there's no wrong embossing folder for this. And of course I am going to emboss all 5 of the card panels. And you saw me kind of switch out my base there. I'm still learning I have the Switch Plus. It sits off the screen because it's so large that it's kind of hard to keep in the screen of my camera or in the view of my camera. And I'm still kind of playing with my sandwich. So I kind of, luckily for me, the Switch won't let you push anything through that's not going to fit. So there's never the concern of, it not going through, or it would tell me it was not going to go through, right? It would stop. So there's that, but I'm trying to figure out the right sandwich for the different embossing folders. Because I have different brands, I have some Spellbinders ones, I have some Tim Holtz ones, I have some Simon Says Stamp ones, and they're all slightly a different thickness. So I'm just still kind of working through the best sandwich. So I do have to kind of play with that. And of course, every machine is going to be different. So though you saw what I was doing, yours might need something slightly different. So it's going to be, a kind of a trial and error situation. And then for the kind of, I guess it would be the the centerpiece of this card, the focal image. It's the Bowtied Colourize dies. These are also by Tim Holtz. And I'm only going to show you a little bit of die cutting here, but I did create 5 of each of them. So there is several layers to this. So there's 3 layers to the bow, 3 layers to the little ribbon pieces that come off of the bow, and then the kind of ribbon pieces that go around the gift. There's 2 pieces, but you need, 2 per card. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I had to cut this out several times, and I'm sorry about my very hairy shirt. This is one of my favorite relaxing shirts, my like lounging shirts. And for whatever reason, it's just a material that loves to grab hair. And of course, if you've been with me for a hot minute, I have several cats. So this shirt is just very hairy. So I'm sorry you're going to see that every time my arm goes in the screen here. But yeah, that's just, what do you do? If you own cats, you know what's up. It is what it is. But yeah, so I cut out everything 5 times, or to create 5 cards. So some of them were 5 layers, some of them were more than, 5 runs through the die cutting machine. I'm only going to show you this twice. I used some HammerMill cardstock for what I wanted as the white base layer. And then I used glitter cardstock for what's going to be the top layer, because you guys know that I've got to have that shimmer and shine. And again, for my sandwich, I've brought in my chrome base plate for this. I find it helps me cut glitter cardstock really well, because sometimes glitter cardstock can be I find it to be a little bit finicky, just depending on what brand it's from. So I find the chrome base plate lets me kind of avoid that issue. And I also, I have the switch, so you can push the button and it pushes it back through. So it actually kind of does 2 passes in one take of the machine. If you guys ever have any questions about my die cutting machine, let me know. I mean, I don't show it because it doesn't sit in a frame well, but if you have a question, I can show it. I can, in the next video that I use it, if you're interested, bring it in frame and kind of show you what I'm doing. If that's something of interest to you, just let me know. Because I'm going off of, you guys knowing what's going on with your die cutting. But if you're newer to die cutting, or, you just have a question, let me know. Like, I'm happy to answer them. It's just, you have to ask so that I know that there's a question. And I always read all of my comments. I don't always have time to answer them right away, but I always read them fairly quickly. So if you have a question, I will try to answer it before. It usually takes me about a week to answer a question in a video, though, because I try to stay ahead of my videos. So like the video for Thursday, I've already made it, so, and the video for Monday is almost completely made. So I'm trying to be ahead on my videos, but if you ever have a question, just let me know and I will answer it. Or you can shoot me an email or something too, and I will read those and answer those quicker than I can in a video. The next 2 videos that are coming, you can see here that I'm just adhering my layers, so you can see the glitter piece and whatnot. The next 2 videos that are coming are different, and I am really proud of how they've come together. So I'm hoping you'll check them out. The next video is that bullet journaling video I've been talking to you guys about forever. And honestly, because I have no idea what I'm doing in that kind of creative style, it took me a long time to get it together. And I think I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. Is it the best bullet journal in the world? Absolutely not. Is it the best bullet journal I've ever made? Absolutely it is, because it's the first one I've ever made. So if you have time and you want to check out kind of a different creative outlet, make sure to catch that video on Thursday. And then of course, Monday of next week is Christmas, which is just mind-boggling. And I have kind of a fun project for that day involving pattern paper and kind of creating my own album. So it's been a work in progress. I'm not quite finished it, but I will be, of course, before Monday's video goes up. But I hope you guys enjoy it. It's something completely different than what I've ever done on my channel before. So hopefully you want to check it out and you stop by and you kind of, give it a gander. But I am pretty excited by those projects and what's coming in 2024, because I have some different ideas and plans for the channel. Everything's still crafty. It's still paper related. We'll still make cards. We'll still, do all those kind of fun things. But I do want to introduce, a little more mixed media and a little more creating a journal, or an art journal, or however you want to, a junk journal, whatever you want to call it. I want to kind of do some of that as well as the cards. So I'm very excited to kind of introduce those in 2024, which is mind-boggling because that's only 2 weeks away, which is just, oh boy, time. I know if you guys are regulars on my channel, you know that I'm like baffled by time all the time, but it's just funny how quickly time goes by as you get older, and it's just mind-boggling. So you saw me adhere all of my layers together. You saw me adhere the bow. I didn't really talk about it because you can see it, and because honestly, it's just gluing the layers together. If you want a more in-depth look at this, I did a card with some foiling where I did the bow tie as well, and I went kind of more into detail with that. So I'll link that if you guys want to check that video out, kind of as a more of a reference to how this goes together. But the layers, I find, at least now, I find the Colourize dies to be quite simple to put together. They look intimidating, but I find them pretty easy because there are score lines, where you need to adhere everything. So it's not really a mystery. Whereas before, the older ones, there'd be like all these weird little pieces and you kind of had to figure out where the heck they went. With the new Colorized dies, there's less of that. There's a lot more of score lines where things need to be. And it seems like Tim Holtz has really put in the effort to kind of make them a lot more simple now that technology has advanced and, they can cut different things. So I think that they are pretty easy to put together, though they do look fairly intimidating. Hopefully you guys are giving him a chance if that's something you're interested in, because they are a lot of fun. He has some great dies on the market, and I have some more coming. I bought the candle dies and I haven't had a chance to use them, so I think that those will show up here probably early January, even though they don't have to be Christmas related, so they will appear. It's just I'm not sure when, but they are a die that looks a bit intimidating, but I don't think it's quite as intimidating as the packaging makes it seem. But we will take that adventure together and check them out once we kind of get a little later in the year, because of course I only have one Christmas video left after this one, and that is that pattern paper album that's going up on Monday. So I can't believe that the 12 weeks of Christmas is almost over already. It just I won't go back into talking about time, but it's one of those things. But yeah, so I'm going to trim off the extra pieces. This allows you to do a bigger panel if you wanted to. These are A2, but I think that they would fit beautifully on a 5x7 as well. So that kind of gives you that versatility if you wanted to do a bigger card. But I think that they turned out really pretty, and I think that they would work really well as a birthday card as well. So I mean, I think they're kind of versatile that way as well. So kind of a fun card design. But that is the video I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll consider leaving me a like, leaving me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I have some pretty exciting things coming in 2024, and as I said, we have 2 new videos coming up really soon that I think that you guys will really enjoy. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye-bye for now.